Yo guys, today we're diving into some of the worst murders ever. And before you're like, nah, this sounds like a horror movie, let me stop you. Like, imagine you're just living your normal life, eating Lunchables, vibing on Roblox, and then boom, your story ends up on the news because people out here are moving like villains in real life. The Hello Kitty girl. In Hong Kong, police walk into this apartment and see a giant Hello Kitty doll. At first, they're like, aw, that's cute. But nah. Inside the doll's head was a human skull.
They cut her head off and put it into a Hello Kitty stuffed animal. You asked and you shall receive. It's time to cover the Hello Kitty murder. In 1999, a 14-year-old girl walked into a Hong Kong police station. She had a rather peculiar story. She said that the ghost of a woman was haunting her and
imagine going to sleep every night with Hello Kitty smiling at you. Except she's literally hiding a whole body. This is not cute. That's straight nightmare core.
This is not for you. To make any of this make sense, we have to go back to the beginning. Fan Man Yi is our unfortunate victim, and she had a really horrible life, to say the least. Her parents abandoned her at a very young age, and she grew up in a series of orphanages and girls' homes. By the time she was a teenager, she was already addicted to drugs. At 23 years old, she started working as a hostess at a nightclub. This is where she met 34-year-old Chan Man Lok. As a pimp and drug dealer, he was not the man you wanted to mess with. Some people say that he was in or had connections to the triad. Fan stole from Chan when she was desperate for money in 1997. She took his wallet. In search of a punishment for her, he had two of his henchmen kidnap her and bring her back to an apartment. This is where Fan would endure a month of merciless torture. Any horrible things you can think of, she went through it in this month. One morning, Chan woke up and Fan was dead. Of course they said, oh, it was a drug overdose. Yeah, that makes sense. No, she 100% succumbed to her injury after a month of what these men did to her. So this horrendous human being over here cut up her body and boiled her flesh to get rid of the rotting meat smell and boiled her head. They cooked her flesh on the same stove that they were cooking their meal and stirred it with the same utensils that they were stirring their meal. Ugh. Ugh. So after all of this was done, they put her skull inside of this Hello Kitty mermaid stuffed animal. Ugh. This one right here. The apartment, weirdly enough, was filled with Hello Kitty memorabilia. Thus, this murder was called the Hello Kitty murder. Part 2 up right away.
Junko Furuta. Junko was only 17 when her own classmates kidnapped her and kept her trapped in a house for weeks.
One of the most gruesome cases of sadistic torture we've ever covered, the case of Junko Furuta. Japan, 1988. 17-year-old Junko is rubbing her bruised knee. She's laying kind of awkwardly in a ditch on the side of the road. Her bike is practically on top of her at this point. It's 8:30 p.m. It's not the most optimal time to get injured alone. Junko looks up. She's frustrated. She was riding her bike home from her part-time job when this random 15-year-old boy comes up to her out of nowhere, completely unprovoked, and kicks the side of her bike. She and her bike go flying off the road into this ditch, and now she's rubbing her slightly bloody knees. She's dusting the dirt off her legs when this figure walks up to her. Another boy, maybe a little older, perhaps 18. He offers to help her up. That guy is famous around here. The one that kicked you, he's a pervert. He once threatened me with a knife, you know? Come on, let's get you up. I can escort you home if you'd like. I'm sure he's still somewhere around here. It's a split-second decision. Do you risk being alone and vulnerable to the bike-kicking pervert to come back and get you? Or do you take the helping hand, hoping it's someone safer? The possibility that the two of them planned for this to happen probably does not cross your mind.
Oh, it was pre-planned?
Pre-planned. They're friends. As Junko and the helping hand are walking towards her house, they pass by one of those abandoned warehouses, and suddenly this guy's attitude completely switches. You know, I'm a Yakuza member, right? It's like the mafia, but in Japan. This is our whole thing. We kill you by faking an accident, we hit you with a car, but I can forgive you if you offer yourself to me. He drags Junko into the abandoned warehouse and essays her. But when he's done, he is sitting next to her. She's very panicked, and he tries to convince her, actually, there's more. The Yakuza still wants to kill you, but because you look kind of like my girlfriend, I feel a little bit of sympathy for you. I want to let you live. I can talk to my superiors and ask them not to kill you, but you have to to stay with me for maybe the weekend? He leaves to call 2 of his friends and he tells them, I've captured a woman. Do you guys want to eat together? That night, him and his 3 friends would take turns gang essaying her, and they would invite more friends over, and soon the torture would begin. They would make fun of her. It was estimated that Junko was essayed by at least 100 different men during her 44 days in captivity.
Neighbors were literally right next door and somehow didn't notice anything. Like, bro, I can hear when my neighbor microwaves Hot Pockets, but they ain't hear this? That's insane.
The sexual torture would only escalate in the next few weeks. It's almost like her captors and the other friends who would be invited over were playing this game of who can be more sick, who can be more twisted. Within a few weeks, they start essaying Junko with other objects. They initially start with random objects that they could find to get their hands on, but eventually they start intentionally looking for objects that would cause the most damage. They begin to torture Junko by inserting sharp scissors, metal rods, metal skewers that you use to grill meat on, glass beverage bottles into her private parts to essay her. At one point, they placed a hot light bulb into her private region and roughly moved it around until it shattered inside of her. Junko would be essayed so regularly and so brutally that her internal organs were, quote, mangled by the end of the 44 days.
Junko's case is still one of the most darkest in Japan's history, and people still talk about it to this day. Skylar niece. Skylar thought she was just hanging out with her 2 best friends, like a normal night out. But nah, her so-called besties had a whole plan to take her out.
I wish that I could go back in time to this photo and tell Skylar niece to stay home, because just moments after this image was taken, her 2 childhood best friends would brutally stab her to death, all because they didn't like her anymore.
Then they went online posting RIP bestie, like they weren't the ones behind it.
Sheila and Rachel then began posting on Twitter saying how much they were worried about Skylar and how they hoped that she would be found alive soon. Like, look at all of these posts. It's sickening what these girls did, and looking at these tweets knowing what we know now, it's just so twisted.
That's not just fake friend energy, that's ultimate snake behavior. Imagine trusting your BFFs and they're literally plotting the whole time. Nah, cause that's terrifying. Slender Man stabbing. In 2014, 2 12-year-old girls legit believed Slender Man was real. Like, bro, be serious. He looks like a Roblox avatar that didn't load right.
The Slender Man stabbing.
Please don't cut off my head. This sort of just happened. I've been trying to block out the screams all day.
The girl in this video is 12-year-old Morgan Geyser, and in May 2014, her and Anissa Weir lured their friend into a forest to play a game of hide and seek. Anissa and Morgan pinned their friend Peyton Lutner to the ground and stabbed her 19 times, leaving her for death.
But they thought they had to hurt their friend to make Slender Man proud.
All in the name of Slender Man. Peyton dragged herself to a nearby road until she was spotted by a man on a bike.
She says to you what?
Could you help me, please? I've been stabbed multiple times.
And was rushed to the hospital immediately. Luckily, she survived the brutal stabbing and was released from the hospital just a week later. While Anissa was empathetic and sorry for what the girls had done, Morgan showed no remorse. The 2 12-year-olds were found not guilty due to mental disease and were committed to mental institutions for 25 and 40 years respectively. And that's the story of...
The friend survived, thankfully, but the fact that kids believe the creepypasta enough to do this? This is actually unreal. Me though, the fact that kids believe the creepypasta enough to do this? This is unreal. Me though, if Slenderman popped up in my Wi-Fi, I'd just pull the router out of the wall and go eat pizza rolls. Catherine Knight. This lady, actually terrifying. She attacked her partner and then tried to cook him with sides like it was a Sunday dinner.
These are murders you wish you never knew about, part 2. This is Catherine Knight. She stabbed her partner John Price to death 37 times in 2000. She then skinned him, decapitated his head, and cooked up parts of his body. She then set her dining room table for 2 and served the cooked meat with baked potatoes.
She literally set the table like it was some kind of family meal. That's not dinner. That's straight up nightmare fuel.
And vegetables. She then placed handwritten notes next to each seat with the names of Price's children on them. She was attempting to serve their father for dinner. When the police finally arrived, they found Catherine Knight in some sort of comatose state with pills spilled out all on the floor. They also found John Price's head boiling in a pot of soup on the stove. Catherine Knight was the first woman to ever be sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. She is currently serving her sentence in Silverwater Correctional Complex in New South Wales, Australia.
She ended up being the first woman in Australia to ever get life in prison with no chance of release. And honestly, she earned it. This is giving Monster Chef, not Master Chef. Nah, because all of these are actually insane. A Hello Kitty doll hiding skulls, fake besties turning on you, Wi-Fi demons convincing kids, and people out here thinking cooking humans is a dinner idea. I'm not sleeping tonight. If my friends ever pulled some Skylar type energy, I'd haunt their Minecraft servers forever. So yeah, those were the worst murders ever. Comment which one made you go, nah, this can't be real. Cause I need to know I'm not the only one shook right now.